Wadau katika sekta ya elimu wamekutana katika eneo la kuunda mitaala humu nchini ambapo ni KICD siku ya leo kuhusiana na siku hii. Anayezungumza katika hafla hiyo sasa hivi ni Sara Ruto ambaye ni katibu mwandamizi katika Wizara ya Elimu. Hivyo basi naomba tumsikize.
And as professions, when there is so much discussion going on, I think teachers, it is our onus, our responsibility to also take stake of these discussions and to be part of nurturing these discussions in the way they need to go as our professional calling calls us. Today in Kenya, we are at the third major transition of our educational development, the third major one that has ushered in the competency approach. It is a reform moment in which we have the competency-based curriculum happening, we have competency-based assessment, CBC, CBA, we have competency-based education and training, we have competency-based teacher education. So there are a number of reforms happening. And when you critically think about it, the teacher is at the center of navigating, or ought to be at the center of navigating the discussions and the process. And this involvement does not begin now, because when you think about the curriculum development cycle, that involvement begins even right from thinking about the curricula, coming up with the objectives. All these are done by practicing teachers. And so I think at this moment, therefore, as a person who also sat here chairing the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, there are so many instances you had 200, 300 teachers developing different aspects of the curriculum. And if they had not put their professional hat in it, we would not even be where we are. And therefore, I also recognize that effort. And there are many things that have come out of it that I think calls for us to really recognize the professionalism the Kenyan teacher has put today. When you're thinking about CBC, there is a level of creativity that I think has resulted in what is happening in the classroom capturing the imagination of the public. And that is something to be celebrated. You now know what is happening in the classroom because of the creativity the teacher or many teachers are injecting. All of us knew there was a topic that demanded for scarecrows to be made, isn't it? Earlier on, we all knew that there was something to do with talking about Kenya's cultural diversity, because different teachers interpreted this in different ways. And so this creativity being injected by the teacher is again something that calls for personal resolve, intellectual commitment, and it is something that is beautiful and recognized. Indeed, some teachers excel more than others, and today we are going to be celebrating fitting some teachers, but it will be good to also expand the horizon of the recognition we are putting so that both the soft part is recognized as the other, let me call it hard part, the part that comes with examination, because all these play a critical role in nurturing the teacher. The other critical reform that has happened, which again caught many people with a little bit of tension, is the competency-based teacher education, and specifically in pre-service teacher education programs. You all know that today we are now expecting a slightly higher academic expectation of the teacher who wants to come. And this is demanded because of the intent, the purpose of what we want to see the teacher being able to achieve within the competency-based reform that we are seeing. And so let us rise up as Kenya, as teachers, to make the profession stronger. If there are students who have not met the academic grades of C-, of C-stand in English, math, etc., let us try and support them to meet that content so that they have content mastery when they are coming to teacher education institutions. so that the job that is there in our teacher training institutions is more of pedagogy, teaching the teacher how to teach, rather than teaching the teacher English or teaching the teacher Kiswahili or things like that. And I think that way we will now begin to move towards teacher-centered pedagogies, which some societies, some countries have perfected more than us, but I know that we can get there. So this is a reform, in my opinion, that will take the profession very far. But as I stated, this is a day to recognize the teacher, especially in the last 2 years, where we have had a pandemic. As has been stated before, we have a tight calendar, and this is a tight calendar that is within a pandemic. There is anxiety that teachers face. If a teacher is bereaved, that same teacher has to come to school and still work within a very tight calendar. And so what we see and we recognize is that teachers have walked the step. They have walked the step with grace, with generosity, and with purpose. I talk about generosity because as we were going to schools to ensure that children go to Form 1 during the 100% transition, you had very many teachers who came together to raise funds because they live with these children, to support them at least enter into primary school. Because especially with boarding, the 35,000 shillings that the government gives is enough for something else, but parents must contribute something, and many teachers came. And that is why I recognize the grace teachers have given, the generosity, and the purpose that they have shown. And for this, therefore, teachers deserve honor, they deserve respect, and they deserve recognition. I join all the others in applauding you, the teacher. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The chief guests at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, let's all appreciate the speakers who have taken to the podium. 1, 2, makofi kwa wa speakers wote. Tuwapige makofi jameni. Asanteni tena sana. On the same note, allow me, chief guests, to acknowledge the presence of the following. The Continental Teacher 2019, Ademba Erikoteno from Asumbi Girls. Mwalimu yuko. Makofi kwa Continental Teacher 2019. Jane Kimiti, Othaya Girls, Continental Teacher 2020, Madam. Umetuinua tena sana. And last but not least, the famous Global Teacher 2019. Wengine hatujai.
Naam, bila shaka mtazamaji, hiyo ni siku ambayo inaadhimishwa siku ya leo.